Black Ice. We're back. So previously we played as Germany, probably one of the harder, if not the hardest campaigns I've ever faced. It absolutely cost me my sanity. And today we will take what's left by playing Black Ice Soviet Union. And join me as we delve into madness. So Iron Man mode on with historical focuses. I'll leave it at regular. Black Ice mode is I am not about that life. I am not about that life. No. Regular will do. Oh god, what am I doing? So, I'm not gonna go over all the fancy things here. These are, you know, the refineries, the various resources. If you've seen my previous video, you know what this is. If you haven't, I recommend you check it out. It's where I play Germany. I go over the mechanics. In short, the industry has been overhauled. Resources have been overhauled. Everything is new, shiny, and complicated. We have a brand spanking new focus tree. It's not the biggest, but it gets bigger as time goes on. They use a system of emergent focus trees where when world events happen, new branches of the tree open up, which is very fun, especially if you don't know about it and you completely miss it. What makes the Soviet Union difficult? Well, our first boss is the second 5-year plan, of which we still have a few years to go. Look at the goals. That's right, those are ambitious goals. I think we can meet them. Fortunately, we have a bunch of decisions we can do. The second 5-year plan, you're supposed to fail. Historically, they failed this because the goals were just too ambitious and not realistic at all. However, I don't like losing, and I will starve every peasant in this country if that means succeeding in the 5-year plan. So that is what we'll do. Now, the way I will do that is by being very methodical and very careful about what I build and where I build it. So these are the provinces in which construction needs to happen. So that's the places I need to build. I need to have a certain amount of factories in each and every one of those places. Now, you can just build, which is what I intend to do, but also taking a look at the focus tree, there are places that will simply get free factories. Kharkov is going to get a total of 9 free factories. I can get more factories in Saratov. I can get a bunch of free factories. So if I know I'm going to get free factories there, then I don't need to build there and I can focus my efforts elsewhere. So I will not be building in Kharkov because I know I'll get 4 factories there either way. I'm also going to do things like hiring the captain of industry, more civilian factory construction speed. I'm going to be assigning more fuel to my civilian economy so that stability goes up, which is irrelevant. I know, more on that later, but construction speed goes up, so more fuel for the people. I'm going to go on to free trade for obvious reasons, and we'll slowly work on just completely turning this country into a mess just to make sure we reach the goal. As for our research, it's also going to be geared towards that. So we'll go with construction. We are also grabbing construction polymers, more construction speed, and then industrial development. Let's get research. As for the other research, we have some time before anyone shows up to really mess with us, so I think we can take a little bit of a relaxed position here. I'm gonna go with strategic destruction. I don't expect to get air superiority over Germany. I'm not that good at this mod, and battlefield support definitely relies on air superiority. So strategic destruction is really good at shooting down enemy fighters, which is what we'll do. And then doctrines. Now, the Soviets are annoying in that they haven't researched all of the World War I doctrines. So first off, we have to get all the remaining doctrines. There are a couple sprinkled around here, and only then can we move on to the actual World War II doctrines, which is a bit stupid. In about 6 months' time, this man's going to go insane. Yes, his mustache will go straight to his brain and will start shooting people. How many people? Everyone. Yep, the Purge really screws over the Russians in this. Let's start. I'm gonna open up with a bit of Pripiski. This essentially unlocks a decision that allows us to cheat. It will randomly take one of the requirements we're not currently meeting and lower them a little bit. So at the start, it's a bit random because it could lower something that we can easily reach, like the oil extraction. Those are things that don't matter, but it could also lower something that we can most definitely have trouble with, like the amount of factories required in Saratov or Moscow. So we'll see what that does. Now, the army is massive, and I'm gonna start over here in the east because let's see, that is 48, almost 48. 48. 48, come on, I need 48 divisions. There we go. I cannot ignore Japan in this mod because there will be a near constant stream of border clashes with Japan. So I'll just leave one army group here, more or less. I'll convert the templates later once we have a little bit of time. And that leaves me with pretty much everyone else. I am very likely to simply disband the majority of the army later on, mostly because it's so massive and it's all terrible. We'll see what we can do with them, but I have very low hopes for them. The templates are awful. If you wonder what the templates are, let's take a look at the tanks. Yeah, not great. Or the NKVD, not great. The only things I'll be holding on to are the 1936 infantry. I'll move that up to the top. Strelkovaya Divizia. This is decent. I'll need to get rid of the light tanks here and the tank recon, but this is something that is more or less functional or can be made functional. I'll hold on to the mountaineers as well. Not great, not terrible. It'll be fine, I guess. And then I guess we'll find an armor division we can use at some point. They're all terrible. Military factories. We have a bunch of mills and we're going to put them to good use. But first, let's take a look at armored vehicles. Now, we're making a lot of tanks and they're all terrible. Useless levels of terrible. I think I'm going to keep making a few BT-7s and I'm going to get rid of everything else. So I'll keep production of BT-7s going, but I'm not going to lean into it. As for air, I'm going to get rid of the Tupolevs. I'll leave some factories on the Polikarpovs, but don't want that many fighters just yet. They're all not great anyway. And then everything else, I need a lot of guns. I'll need much support equipment, much light artillery, a whole mountain of uniforms, a large amount of machine guns, artillery prime movers. So for heavy artillery, motorized heavy artillery, sort of, I won't be using that. Assault SMGs, maybe later. A little bit of heavy artillery, never hurt anyone. I'm gonna get rid of the paratrooper equipment, a couple more trains, and then I'll add a production line for, because I see we're not making it. We're making infantry guns. We will need these. And then I need to also still make AA. Yep, we're gonna need that. I can add factories later. And I also need cavalry horse equipment. I think that's a good start. I'll take a couple of machine guns away. I also need to assign all of these MIOs. It's not automatically done at the start. It's a little annoying, but it's mostly an issue in mods where you start with a large production line. Then our navy, such as it is, we're building a bunch of ships and they're pretty universally terrible, but we might as well finish the ones that we're building. Mostly the cheap escorts, and then we'll allow the factories to trickle down. Could like fully organize this into the most optimal way to build the ships. Might do that off screen, but essentially I'm just going to build everything that's here and then completely forget about it. I'm just going to put everyone on naval exercises. Every single vessel is going to be exercising. Later on, we're just going to consolidate everything into a Black Seas fleet and a Baltic fleet, and that's it. Other places are very unlikely to really see major naval action. I might put a couple of light ships up here in the Barren Sea, but that's it. Everyone else just exercise for essentially free naval experience. Air Force, I am simply going to delete and probably sell most of my airplanes. This might be a system you already know, but Soviets at least have the advantage of having a whole lot of raw resources to work with, so this isn't too much of an issue. Energy, I'm going to put civilians and high economy dockyards on the lowest priority. Essentially, this is basically your country's power generation, which is specific to the mod, once again. And do the way I'm going to do my build-up to get that 5-year plan, I'm going to run into power issues, and I want the power issues to only affect my dockyard, so everything else at least works. Anyway, that is the basics setup done. Army is not going to get organized for another 3 years, so let us get going. Let's get on with it. I'm also going to build a tractor plant. Now let's get some tractor production going. So everything is going towards the 5-year plan, which means I need to increase my resource extraction, increase my oil storage, and build. I know what to do. Also, tractors, very important for the Soviets. We need to give them to the peasants, because right now we are a pre-industrial farming community, which means it's really bad in the way of manpower and other things. So our country's a bit backwards, quite a bit backwards, and we're trying to fix that. We have to fix takes this spirit. Anyway, Politburo reformed, Captain of Industry is on board, welcome. And from here, we embark on a glorious quest to shoot all the kulaks and take their stuff and build factories. Another thing we'll be spending a lot of political power on is these foreign investments. They give us factories in exchange for 75 political power and stability. Now, I'm gonna let my stability drop. I'm gonna just let it fall. Stability is not irrelevant, but it's not the main thing we need here. I just need factories. So I'm gonna make our army worse, but it's going to increase our building speed. So I'm gonna go down to reserve army. It does mean everything's gonna be terrible. Yeah, these soldiers are gonna be next to useless. I can also go down to 1-year draft instead of 2-year draft for even more construction speed. The things we do just to get more construction speed. No, I think I should wait with those. They'll make everything too bad. I'm gonna start with the foreign construction investment. It's a lot of political power and stability, but free factories are free. And little by little, construction is finishing. I know that Minsk, Kiev, Kharkov, I don't think we need to build there. Gorky, yes. Moscow, yes. So constantly looking at how many factories do I have? How many more do I need to build? Like, for instance, I know I won't need more factories in places like Leningrad because I have focuses that give me factories there. I know that Bryansk is pretty much done also. So just constantly checking. As for the fuel and the other resources, I can fix that by hiring this man, for instance, gives me more resources extracted, and then I can take research that extracts more resources. I'll get my way. I'll leave a link to a very helpful video in the description if you want to min-max the 5-year plan as well. I still think our armies are too good, so I'm gonna move conscription down to 1-year draft, mostly to speed up construction and get me more political power in the long run, and our standing army is going to be a reserve army. I'm gonna make this country so bad just to meet our goals. I said I will starve every peasant in this nation if that's what it takes. Stalin's snapped July, and this is where the purge starts. So there's no focus to do. There is no clever way to avoid it or to mitigate it. It's all done through a massive event chain, and all you get to choose is where he hurts you, because you are going to suffer. Stalin's gonna go insane, and he's gonna shoot almost everyone. That 400,000 manpower is going to bleed away as he purges and purges and purges. I'm thinking massive educational focus and then down towards the Berezniki Kombinat. Actually, no, let's grab the Bolshevik thing here. More civs. Then we'll grab Moscow-Volga Canal, and then we'll work our way down to Berezniki Kombinat. Or first we take the railways and modernizing Dinamo. That leads to Dalselmash, which gives me 5% more construction speed. Do I really want them? Maybe. So Kharkov and Bryansk are done. I can ignore those safely, so now the focus shifts to all the others. Now it's this. Records at the factories. I can either shut down the factories for inspection or shoot someone. I have plenty of ministers. I can keep shooting them for a little bit. So the infantry here has a tank in it. I don't want that. I'm going to replace that with a regular rifle division. It's expensive, but it's cheaper than having tanks in my army. And the tankette recon can just be cavalry recon. And that brings me down to a more reasonable division size. All right, we've arrived in Spain. Spain is pain. Who do I want to lead? I believe Timoshenko doesn't get shot. Voroshilov shouldn't get shot, I believe. And I'm gonna send these men just to stand on a front line somewhere. I really don't care. Who do we shoot today? Kalinin's too important. I don't want to lose the political power, so I guess goodbye, Nikita Khrushchev. Historically, you survived. Not today, though. Goodbye. Who can I shoot now? Jan Garmanik? Sure. So we're done in most places. Minsk, Saratov, Kiev. Whew, a lot of work ahead of us. Could you stop shooting everyone? I'm running out of generals. So Rokossovsky's gone. Grigoriev, Zhukov at least is now here. Oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man. We'll get Crimea, we'll get Moscow, but will I get Saratov? It's a pickle. Think we'll make it. The Germans want to work together. I can either agree and get a research slot or disagree, and yeah, let's agree. And I can use that to start my tank research. That's about time because we have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do here. Oh boy. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Right, I want a T-34. That's like my goal. I'll best get to it then. How do I get the T-34? I need a lot of tech, so let's get researching. One more in Saratov. One more. Is that gonna work? It should be the last one we need. Yes, the last building for Saratov, and we will finish the 5-year plan. We meet all other requirements. Just one more factory in Saratov, and that one is going to finish December 20th. That is like 1 month away. Ooh, it's going to be close, but it's going to be enough. Now we can already choose the next 5-year plan. So, civilian improvements? I don't think so. We really need to start gearing towards the military side of things, so not civs, no. Other stuff seems nice, but no. Now, military production does seem like the no-brainer. It does feel like that's a good idea, but I don't like the weekly stability hit, and like the production bonuses aren't there. It's just construction, and then there's resources and machines. Now this gives me a lot of research speed for tools and workers, so output. All buildings get built faster, not as fast as the individual bonus, but still flat out bonus. I could be wrong here, but I think I want to go with resources and machines. Look at that, the 5-year plan that we're not supposed to complete. It's gonna be tight. Oh, I got like 5 days to go, but we did it. We have completed the second 5-year plan. It's going to give us an extra research slot, a little bit of war support, and 30% stability. Yes. Now I'm going to grab the last focus here, the Ural heavy industry plant. I can keep doing it while the 5-year plan runs out because this focus will continue even when requirements are no longer met. Good. And after that, we go into the third 5-year plan. We might also expand the Red Fleet because I want to get this done before Stalin guts the navy entirely, but we'll have to see if there's still time. Oh, extra research slot for industry, and we're definitely gonna need this to get this country back on its feet after this. One of the first things I'm gonna do is remobilize. I am going to remobilize to a standing army because this is just so bad. Oh, I think this is one of the last Great Purges, the Trial of the 21, so I could shoot everyone, or I can shoot most people. Enemies are everywhere. This hurts my navy, my military high command, and the air force. Not great. And this just completely decimates the navy and the air force. Let's just shoot some officers. Yeah, I don't need the navy and the air force to be even worse, especially the air force. I'm gonna need it to do something at some point. I'll start with prepared defense because I need this anyway. This is my defensive tax. I'm gonna be facing or defense in depth. Yeah, that's more Soviet defense in depth. We're gonna need that anyway, and then we'll try to get the other doctrines in as well, hopefully. Now, radio techs are gonna be important. Electronics are gonna be important. Oh God, I need everything. We're in mid 38, so I'm gonna finish up a couple more civs. And then we're going to shift into military factories as well as like engine and foundries and stuff, depending on how many I need to keep producing. I've got like 350 civs at this point. I feel fairly confident in my industry right now. 345 civs and 200 mills. All right, collectivist science, that's a research slot. And then new Soviet man into Soviet sciences. Yes, that will give me another research slot. I'm going to lose some of these research slots when the Germans roll in, so I want to get as much use out of them as I can. And I think we've just ended the purge as well. That opens up another branch of the focus tree we need to do. So this is supposed to help us mitigate the damage. There's a lot of damage that needs mitigating. I'll start organizing the military. We have the Far East Theater. I very much want to get rid of that, but unfortunately that's not happening as long as the Soviets, or rather the Japanese, insist on being a nuisance. I can't get rid of those armies. They'll leave them there. We'll start organizing this mess. All right, that gets me 2 field marshals. Not what I was hoping for, but it's gonna have to do. 2 full field marshals, 1 for delaying actions and 1 to already sit on the Stalin line, I guess, unless I commit them to Poland. We'll definitely need to see. And then an army here that doesn't really commit to anything, so I'll just use that for future shenanigans. So Mexico doesn't want to let us kill Trotsky, so we'll we'll just send our boys over there. Spies should be able to kill Trotsky that way. Boy, that is a lot of military factories rolling off the production line. I'm still using 178 factories for consumer goods. That's just wild. Time to switch my captain of industry out for armaments organizer. Faster military. Yeah, armaments it is. Poland has refused the ultimatum, which means I can soon walk into Poland as well. So Germany is going to go to war with them, and I'll have to honor the deal. We must honor the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact, and we do so via this button here. You guys ever get that feeling that you forgot something, but you're not sure what? Well, it just dawned on me what I was forgetting. I've not been handling this. I genuinely need to work on the purge. I need to focus all of my attention on getting rid of the purged officers as quickly as possible. All right, time to join the war on fascism on the side of fascism, I guess. This is mostly irrelevant. Just walk in there, do a little bit of a contribution, and we'll come out of this with some fancy stuff. Sweet, we got a nice slice of Poland and some free guns. Woohoo! And Germany should honor the pact. Brilliant! Well, exercise those men. I have divisions on their way here. We'll move the tanks up as well. They're not great tanks. I don't pretend to have built the world's greatest army there. And Finland said no. As was expected. Well, I'm not sure how we'll handle this, but we'll handle it. And hopefully we can get some army experience out of this. Oh my god, we just lose org just by moving. We lost all of our org just by moving one tile. Oh no, 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 no. I did not handle the purge well enough, and now I'm going to die. I don't think I can get this fixed in time for Germany. I'm gonna need to learn a lot from my army's mistakes. Oh boy, it's gonna cost me so much. Oh no, I need army experience to fix military command. I need army experience to train new officers, and then I need army experience to learn from my army's mistakes, but I'm barely getting any. I did not fix my officers purge in time. I should have just been laser focused on getting rid of that debuff. I just didn't realize how bad this was gonna be. My troops are legitimately worthless right now. Hello there. Sorry to hop in the middle of the video like this, but just want to touch on something before the video continues. I had a lot of trouble with the game crashing from this point, and I had to fully restart, so a brand new run. I didn't fully record the whole thing simply because it takes so much time, not just to play it, but then to explain what you're doing and why. So from this point on, the rest of the video is from a second run. I try to do most of the things the same way I did before, with some slight changes, like I focused more on getting more army experience so I could prepare for the debuffs that come with the Great Purge, and I also did not keep tanks around. I turned everyone into basic infantry. For the most part though, I didn't make too many big changes, but you'll see through the course of this video. Anyway, hope you still enjoy the rest of this, and why not drop a like, maybe even subscribe. Here's the rest of the video. Yay, the Baltics have all submitted. Well, they'll allow my troops in, and they'll be good little socialists now, and we'll be garrisoning troops in their major cities. Reason we want to do that is if we garrison their capital with our own troops, they will get more and more and more communism support. The more communism support they have, we can do the focus, integrate the Baltic states, welcome them to the Union, which is historically what kind of happened. Soviets asked for military access and military bases in the Baltic countries, with a strong "or else" added to the end of that letter. And when all those Soviet troops were there, they rolled out the proxy communist government, said, you know what, these people need a referendum. Do they want the communists in power or their current leaders who are oppressing them? And what do you know? Suddenly, all the ballots said, please give us communists. Totally legit, right? Totally. And then the communists never left for, what, 50 years? It's time for Baltic security, and the only way towards security is by apparently attacking Finland. We're going to go for Karelia. I've deployed forces up north to secure the area up there to make sure that at least we can hold them off. I'm going to declare war on Finland. It's going to be hilarious, trust me. Yeah, our army is not going to be great. We have 9 org in our divisions. Oh my god. Yep, these are the divisions I'm using. They should have 19 org. Right now they have 9. We do like 2 damage. Oh, it's so horrible. These armies are effectively useless. I can't even beat Finland. I'm sure people are gonna go, I've played this mod a bunch of times. I know exactly what you need to do with your steel. I don't. I haven't played this mod a bunch of times. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure it shows as well. Because I have org loss when moving, the units will arrive with 0 org, and despite that tile being completely, and I do mean literally completely open, Finland was faster in taking this unit here and redeploying it over there than I was walking into the tile next to it. I am not having a good time right now. Air Force is useless. The infantry is useless. The Navy is useless. Everything I have is utterly and completely useless. I've broken through the first tile in Finland. Hallelujah, hello. I've also managed to land troops in Åland, so we're now gonna go up to war economy. We're in the final stretch. We've got about a year and a couple of months left until war were declared, so it's gonna be awful. But at least the use of overwhelming numbers has eventually allowed us to crack the Finns, and it appears they have so few divisions that I was able to land troops behind their lines. Neat. Let's get those in as well. The Republic of Finland offers concessions. Like, we take the historical options, we sign a peace deal, we get Salla and Karjala, and the Winter War failure, because the Winter War was a bit of a failure. If we decide to push on, army fatigue is disastrous, and I don't know if it's gonna go away. So if I have this going into Barbarossa as well, I might as well just quit the game. And of course, the negative modifiers on Stalin keep getting worse, so they really want you to pick the first option. Fine. And who do we blame? The army, which makes everything so much worse, or the Air Force, which makes everything so much worse? Just blame the Air Force. I know that air wins wars. Right now, there's not much of a war to win. And we can now continue on. We can get lessons of the Winter War to fix the Red Army purges a little bit, because we did learn our lesson. Namely, the lesson is that the Red Army is useless. We can pressure the Baltic states and hopefully annex them, incorporate some Baltic officers, and we're going to keep rushing down any and all focuses to increase our military output. We have a little more than a year to get that fixed as well. Meanwhile, Germany is still Germanying all over Europe. Wow, the UK has landed in Germany itself. Well, it's not going to do much, but this is pretty neat. This is the first time I see that happen. We can finally build, or at least start to build T-34s. They're not the world's greatest tank, but they're good enough, and I should be able to make many of them. Let's mobilize the army, I guess. But I already did that. Oh, and we've also stabbed Trotsky, so he's out of our hair. I'm also going to start constructing a line of pillbox defenses, combined with a couple of land forts in the critical areas like Vitebsk here, Orsha, and of course Kiev itself, and the other tiles on the east side. Is this the east side? Yeah. The western side of the river, sorry, the western side of the river. I am not going to be able to hold all of it, but I'm going to do my best. I still need 20,000 uniforms. I need about 600 light tanks, but they don't count. And I need about 100,000 units of infantry equipment. All right, Germany's going for Yugoslavia. Only a few more months before they break the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact, and they will come for us. They will inevitably try to kill us all. A little early, but Germany's decided to break the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact. I think they're about a month early now. Well, that's certainly not great. Slow everything down. I need to finish this focus, and then I can grab this focus. Stalin's speech for the Great Patriotic War. This is going to make my divisions a little bit better. After that, we're going to do the Council for Evacuation, allowing me to move my industry to the other side of the Urals, which is going to be very important. I don't want all my stuff stolen by the Germans. After that, we can do the Red Army rebuild. This will give us a research slot, which is very neat, but it will also dramatically, I do mean dramatically, reduce the purge, allowing us to potentially, maybe, hopefully hold long enough to grab more of these purge bonuses throughout the Patriotic War tree and hold out until the end. And a lot of lend-lease coming my way. I'm going to take it. and be grateful. Send me your guns. And Finland's also going to come in. This was expected. Should be able to hold them off here and in these other positions. We should be fine in the north. I'm mostly extremely worried about the actual front with Germany. Barbarossa is going to come in hard and fast, and I'm not going to like it. I just want to fight a bit of a delaying action here for as long as I can, hurt them as best we can, and then retreat when it looks like we can't hold them any longer. I don't want to waste too much strength. At least the army experience is flowing in nicely, so this is going up real quickly now with all the fighting going on. Yeah, you can tell we're starting to crack under the pressure. I think they've delayed things here long enough. I'm going to reposition around Kiev and then south along the river here towards the Dnipropetrovsk. Okay, we've got our council for evacuation ready. I can start pulling my factories out. Let's rebuild the Red Army. Factories that I want to pull out. Where are they? The Kiev industrial area. Lesser Vilno, yes. Those are the important ones. And Kiev itself as well. So those factories get removed, which is a little bit annoying, but they will be replaced elsewhere and we should be fine once they arrive where they're going. It takes a while to reposition them. So getting everything out of, for instance, Minsk is going to take 47 days, which is quite a while. It's not unlikely that I might have to fall back to the line between Narva and Rostov. So that's going to be this river line here, up towards Tula, from Tula towards Rzhev, maybe Smolensk, but I'm thinking more Rzhev, and then to Pskov. It's looking likely that I may need to yield more ground than I'm willing to give. I'm going to extract as much of the industry as I can from the area. I need to pull units out that are about to capitulate before the second unit in the battle also capitulates, because reinforcement needs to happen so I can get a fresh unit in. So I'm constantly cycling through that. Then I'm bringing in fresh units from additional nearby tiles that are not currently engaged to reinforce the big battles like this one where I'm also about to lose. I can do this for a while, but eventually something's gonna give, and I think it's gonna be my sanity. All right, we've finished the Red Army rebuilt. Not a moment too soon. So we're down to 25% penalty on org, and we're holding. Barely. I've lost the tile here, so the line is starting to turn weird and funky. Supply is an issue. Summer is still going to be very, very long. I'm thinking either I go for tractors for tanks to get like 72 military factories, or I get other things to actually invigorate my army some more. So this is actually more. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. I don't know. And I just noticed this. The revolution spreads. The bonuses here are fantastic. There's only two downsides. One, I cannot have more than 10% surrender progress, and currently we are at 6, so far so good. And two, it takes 30 days, so I have to last for a month while researching this. And if I, in these next 30 days, lose too much territory, like maybe Minsk, I will fail the focus and have wasted whatever time I've invested in it. But I'm gonna try. We're gonna have to yield the Baltics. My line cracked a lot sooner than I thought it would. Things are not looking great, but it could be worse, I guess. Just need to last a little bit longer. One neat thing, though, is that I've slapped Japan around enough that I can now shift the borders, and I'll be able to take that slice of land here by clicking that. And we've made Mongolia bigger, I guess. That means I don't need these troops up there. I'm simply going to delete them and let the equipment flow back into our reserves, or alternatively, put them on the border with Iran, because I don't trust them. Yeah, front line is in the death spiral now. It's cracking around Kiev. I couldn't keep it up. Made a single mistake here, made a mistake there, and it starts falling apart. So they've taken a couple of extra tiles. Same here in the center. They pushed across the river, and then they took the next tile across the river, and it just sort of spiraled from there. I did manage to extricate the forces from Minsk, and we're going to make an orderly retreat to our next positions. I'm just repositioning. I'm going to abandon the positions as they are right now because I can't hold them. It's just not possible with my current layout. We're bailing on the positions. It's unfortunate. I wish I had a better option, but we're just gonna have to pull out. It looks to be clean for the most part, so no massive casualties yet. This can still go horribly, horribly wrong. So much worse. So, Stop fighting and retreat like I ordered you. This is what happens. Then they get stuck in fights that they can't win. They're perpetually in combat, and as a result, they don't withdraw when you order them to, and then they end up getting encircled. If you don't micromanage withdrawal, it becomes such a shocking mess. I've lost control of 3 of my research slots, so once these finish, I can't assign anything new to them until I retake the province. That kind of sucks. My production has been scaled back significantly because I lost so many power plants. I now no longer... I have a 20% power deficit. Yeah, as a result, my steel mills aren't working, my aluminum mills aren't working. I'm trying to still produce equipment, but I'm not making enough of it fast enough. I've definitely 100% lost the air war. It's over. I've outlasted Germany's modifier for Barbarossa, so they no longer have a 20% attack bonus against me, but even at the edge of their supply lines, they just keep coming and coming and coming and hammering my lines with so much firepower. I can't stop them. I don't have the firepower to stop them. Why is the AI able to do this? It's winter, attacking across a river into prepared positions that can pierce every single one of their divisions. Their units have almost pretty much no stats, and I still can't hold. It's been a grueling slog, but Tractors for Tanks has just finished, and oh my god, do I want those factories now. Come on, give me factories. There we go, it added my factories. Oh, just a smooth 72 additional military factories. Almost filled out my entire queue again after the damage done by the invasion. Oh dear, am I missing a bunch of engine production capacity. It also does help that I'm running Order 227 at this point. This gives us a nice defensive bonus, and it also means my units can't just retreat. We're holding the line. There we go. The first 10 tank divisions have rolled off the production line. They're probably not the world's greatest tanks, but they'll do. Decent firepower. I'm going to switch in more and more mediums as I produce them, which is going to take a little bit of time, but I've got a stockpile of cavalry tanks to work with. My goal will be to create encirclements. We'll try to cut off small sections of the German army. So good news, bad news. The good news is we've created our first encirclement. We have trapped some Germans here. We're going to kill them. All of this thanks to our armored divisions named after channel members. So I try to name as many units after channel members as I can. I have to do this manually in Black Ice because it doesn't play nice with my mod. The guard members have also been deployed. So these guard divisions are slightly better than my usual divisions, have a little bit more firepower in them, more staying power, more importantly, and they will go to where they are needed. I'm going to try to use them to shore up the defense of Tula, Rzhev there, and then this little tile up here near Narva. I hope to God we can hold, because I am being pushed back step by step. It's so costly to hold. We're up to 1 million casualties. But we are giving as good as we're getting. I just wish the allies would, you know, do something. Come help me. Do something. Oh, thank God the allies are doing something. If I'm not mistaken, that is Operation Torch. Yes, the United States is invading North Africa. UK is still very much bogged down in North Africa, so maybe that combined effort will see some pressure put on the Axis. Lord knows I need it right now, because everything wasn't awful enough already. Iran just declared war for some reason, but I'm gonna have to rush my tanks in here as some sort of stopgap measure. They should be able to get there before the Iranians are able to take too much ground, I hope. Situation's still critical. We've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 of our research slots, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We drive onwards. We ever drive onwards. I am at least bullying the hell out of Iran. There's nothing they can do to stop Zhukov from driving in here and just tearing the place up. Gives us a nice land bridge to the UK and the North African front as well. There we go. Iran is out. They signed a white peace. I guess this is just an event. Oh, it's November 1943. Bad news. I've had to yield even more ground as I started losing supply hubs because I just don't have enough trains. I couldn't manage the defense anymore. I had to yield even more ground, so I fell back to Stalingrad, Saratov, and then like this massive bulge you see here. The upside of that is there are no supply hubs in that area. So all of these German or Axis troops are all starving and they're just combat ineffective. We're starting to trade fairly favorable when it comes to the air war. Not everywhere, but many places. Let's go for a Soviet winter offensive. Nice bit of extra attack. Maybe we can actually do something here today. Oh, looks like we might. Yay! Nice section of the front encircled. Let's just kill them all. Oh yeah, that was a good number of divisions. Looking at the casualties here. 50k already. 17k there. 22k. Yeah, we're doing all right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there should have been a D-Day by now, but not seeing much. My glorious members of the Guard. You're in the Guard, son. You've done it. A couple of actual blows against the German Reich that they will feel. Do I want to get ambitious or do I remain cautious? I should really remain cautious, but I feel like we can achieve so much here if I just play aggressively. I feel like we can do so much more. In any case, we have Ritek and Voronezh. That was a research slot, so should be active again. Yes, the air is once again ready to be researched. Sure took me long enough to reclaim it. Oh, every campaign has that tipping moment. That moment you realize you're starting to win. It took way too long to reach that moment, but I think we're here. Oh, this is actually a pretty big one considering the rest of the campaign. Let's see what that pocket yielded us. 280,000 manpower. Yes! Decided for an operation against Finland. Things around Leningrad got real hectic, real bad, so a massive push from the Germans managed to get across the river before I could reinforce it with more guards. Same here, they managed to push me off the port and, well, they pushed quite a bit until I could get more guards in. So far so good. So the idea that the Finnish industry and manpower pool is far less robust than the German one seems to be panning out. They've taken quite a bit of casualties and they don't really have the manpower pool to back it up. You can tell with the yellow or brown bars being very low, and we've gotten past the main line and it's fairly open from here. Yeah, Finland's not able to cope with the pressure. Nice little repeat of the Winter War, except this time we're winning. Finland is 50% towards capitulation. We can now subdue the White Bear. If that focus finishes, it should turn them into a puppet or an ally. Oh, there we go. Set up a satellite state. This will turn Finland into a puppet. This is good. So this is another screw up, clusterfuck, whatever you want to call it. Try to make a nice cut using the armor. Problem here being there is a gigantic amount of divisions available for the Germans or the Romanians or whoever really. They just magically conjured up. They just flood the line. It's impossible to get anything done. A teeny tiny encirclement is all I got for my troubles. I just burned through all the manpower I mobilized. I think I just took 2 million casualties in a summer offensive. But no matter all that nonsense, let's just kill this pocket off. We'll get to look at the big numbers once these guys die. 633,000 manpower pocket. I think I spent 2 million men to kill a little over 500,000. It does look like the rope may be open to some sort of armored thrust through the center here. We'll see if they'll allow me to do it. No, I don't think they're gonna allow me to do it. If this thing happens, it's gonna be the biggest thing to happen here in years. Come on. Yes! Okay, so this is a massive cauldron. Kessel, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Tanks through the center here. There is no supply in that area, so there's nothing I can do to effectively close it using the tanks. It's gonna fall to the infantry. Voroshilov and Timoshenko, I'm counting on you guys. Just close this. Bring the noose ever tighter, tighter, tighter. Yeah, 42 divisions, I think, that we now get to crush here. The Germans are gonna feel this one. So no, that's more than 40. 35, 36, 38, 40, 48, 50, 51, 53, 55 German divisions. Holy cow, they're gonna feel this. If this doesn't break them, I don't know what will. That was 700,000 manpower at least, not counting all the other individual battles raging in the area. That was 713,000 manpower in that one pocket. Oh no, the south is blown open. It's wide open now. Okay. Oh, we might actually get Crimea back. Come on. Got the hub of the Dnipropetrovsk. The enemy should not have all that much supply left. That was the most glorious winter offensive I've ever conducted. Now, I'm going to take half these tanks, move them over up there, and we're gonna go a two-pronged offensive. We'll create a mighty secondary Kessel pocket, and we are going to take the German army apart. Last tile, link, kill it. Yes! That is the entirety of the German south. Vindication at last. This feels so good. So that one little pocket was 50,000 men. The casualties here are enormous, and they're mostly German. So there's 200,000, like 500,000. All things combined, that was probably 500,000 casualties, and we're gonna go for another big push. Let's drive to Kiev, driving them into a corner. There's nowhere to run. Good. Bit by bit, we're taking them apart. I've stopped the general offensive because it was too expensive. Limited myself to using the guards as offensive shock troops along with the armored, and then the infantry follows behind to fill in the gaps. Seems a bit more conservative, but does feel like it's more cost efficient. The north is wide open. Everything is falling apart. Oh, step-by-step victory draws ever closer. I've stopped paying attention to anything else. I'm just driving my armies further into their land. I'm going to kill them all. This has gone on for so long. This is my vindication. This is my end game. I just want to win now. I just want to win. All right, so Bulgaria chose to negotiate. They saw the writing on the wall. Through events, they've decided to suddenly be our friends. Welcome aboard, Bulgaria. A nice Czechoslovak puppet, because why not? I've earned a slice of Czechoslovakia. That's it. Germany has capitulated. The Greater German Reich is no more, and suddenly France has popped back up because they certainly earned that right to exist. The Allies are so bad that after liberating France for them, they've managed to lose like a quarter of it to the Italians, like instantly. It's happened. Oh, our peace treaty. I don't ever want to play this mod again. I'm gonna get my puppets. That's it. I don't care. I don't care anymore. All right, so bad news. No matter what I try, the peace deal crashes the game. So there will not be a glorious payoff to this. But look at that. Comintern reigns supreme. If I wanted to, I could probably sweep into Japan as well. Wipe the floor with them. All I have to do is scroll around and find the damn focus. All I have to do is finish the setting sun and just drive hard on the Japanese. I could probably overwhelm them at this point. But yeah, no matter what I try, the game always crashes whenever I have that peace deal. So, little unfortunate. That said, don't try this yourself. I hate it every second until I started winning. And the only reason I loved that part is because I knew it was going to be over and I could quit. Black Ice as Germany is a masterpiece. It's complicated, it has its myriad of flaws, but as Germany, it's a very enjoyable experience once you get the hang of it. As the Soviet Union, it is punishment by mechanics. It is a good experience as the Soviet Union, not because it's difficult, but because it is punishing the player for simply playing as the Soviets. This video has taken me 2 weeks to finish up. It has cost me my sanity, my desire to play this game, and I think my wife is really mad at me. She hasn't seen me in days. I hope you guys can find it in your heart to give this video a like. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and contributing with a membership. All of the members, or at least as many as I can, I try to assign division names so that you may see yourself represented on the map in my glorious armies. Anyway, I am going to turn off the computer now and not touch Hearts of Iron for a very long time, I think. Hope you've enjoyed the video at least. Hope you'll enjoy the next one as well. See ya.